Welcome to the American Red Cross Disaster Shipping In-Transit Visibility System User Training, also known as the ITV system. This training was updated August 23rd, 2017. To begin, we first have to get to the system. So I open up a web browser, and I'm going to put in a short URL. This is something shortened so you don't have to memorize or write down or copy a very long URL. This is easy to put on a post-it note. So the URL is http://bit.ly, bit.ly is the type of short URL we are using, /2xdnfwq. Again, B as in Bravo, India, Tango, dot, Lima, Yankee, /2, X-ray, Delta, November, Foxtrot, Whiskey, Quebec. This is going to bring me to a logistics homepage. On the homepage over on the left-hand side, the only things I care about as part of the system are the requisitions and the trip log. Most of the time when using this system, you may actually want both of these tabs up. The requisitions and trip log are independent, but they are very much interrelated. So I'm actually going to open another tab up here, paste in that URL, and it takes me to, again, the home page. And you'll see here it's americanredcross.sharepoint.com with a long URL. I need to be logged in as myself with my Red Cross email username and password. And this is part of the Red Cross National Headquarters Office 365 SharePoint environment. So in this tab here, I'm going to go to my requisitions. And in the second tab, I'm going to go over to my trip log. We'll start with requisitions and then move to trip log. The first thing I'm going to talk about is how to navigate this type of SharePoint site. The navigation is actually identical between the two, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty details of the different fields and the different views that exist and what would be required of you and when it would be required. First, let's talk requisitions. And again, the way I can tell that I'm in requisitions is I see it here, and I also see requisitions right here. Trip log is up here, trip log, and again, I see trip log. So that's how you know where you are. Then we have our top line menu. The three things as a user that you care about are new, quick edit, and export to Excel. New simply opens up a new record that you can complete and fill out. Quick edit actually allows you to go into records that you saw down here in the view and make changes to those records. So very easily you could change a phone number, you can scroll to the right, you don't have to open up a whole bunch of different things. It's actually very easy to manage and quite helpful. Export to Excel simply downloads the data from your view here so you can manipulate it in Excel. I'll go ahead and click that and pull my browser up a little bit and you can see the data there, but hopefully you're not exporting and you're working with this data directly in the system. The next thing is the view. So you see here that I'm looking at the all items view. Each user type in the system has their own view that we're working with. So we have a national headquarters logistics team. We have a procurement team. We will be adding more views over time. We can change and edit the views. System administrators will handle that. But it's important to know which view you are looking at, because if you say, hey, these fields aren't right, or I don't have the right fields, or it's not in the right order, maybe you're in the wrong view. If you're in the correct view and you say, this could be more effective, I wish I could see these fields, or I wish this order were different, then you can go ahead and contact support. And support will actually, that's the national headquarters logistics team. You should have their contact information. You can contact one of them and make recommendations and changes to the system. So what we have here, I'm in the NHQ logistics field. I can scroll to the right here and see all of the different columns. Each column is a field, all the different columns that I have here. And if I wanted to change my view over to procurement, you'll see that there are different fields visible, and I can scroll down here and we can see how it's ranked. So the oldest ones are at the bottom, the newest ones are at the top. If I wanted to filter on something, I can click this down arrow and I can do an independent sort on my own. I can do a filter to find a specific person's last name. I can group, and I can also change some settings if I needed to. The trip log, going over here again, you'll notice a bunch of different views, so it's always important to go to your view first and then start working with your records. So let's talk about some of the details of this. So when I create a new record, Who would do that? Why might they need to do that? The DRO logistics supply, noted here as DRO log supply, the DRO logistics supply team will be creating new records. And these are requisitions that come from a disaster relief operation that are also entered into Ariba. So what you have is, if you are DRO log supply, you'll have a requisition form, 6409. You will have this website up, and you will also have Ariba up. What you'll do is you'll just simply copy information over from your requisition form. You'll notice that this is the field name. You have an ability to type in a value, and you'll follow the instructions below each field when completing. So you see here DR 452-18. I would only enter 452. I actually will now proceed to the next field, where you notice there's a red asterisk. That red asterisk means that it's a required field. You will not be able to save until the required fields are completed. Every single field has a description section with something in it. In some cases, it will tell you how to enter a field if it might be a little confusing, but every field will say who is supposed to complete. So DRO log supply completes each of these different records, or excuse me, different fields. So as we keep scrolling down, again, log supply has the beginning of this, and then eventually what we run into is procurement. So the Red Cross procurement team would then complete these fields and go all the way down to the do not use. You don't fill this out, and there's no need to put attachments with this. So once you've filled out all of the fields, or the fields that are required for you and your team, and again, they're grouped here. So log supply has all the stuff at the top, and then eventually it gets to procurement, who completes at the bottom. Then you would have a new record in the system. You can double click a specific record to open it up to see all of the information within it. When you do that, you can actually see who created the record, when they created it, and you can also see the person who last modified it and the time of that. If I wanted to edit the item, I could go ahead and do that. And here I am, I'm back in it. I'm going to cancel that. If I wanted to quick edit, again, I can click on the record. You don't just have to check on the box. I can just click on the record itself, and then I can click edit. So I don't have to double click. That gets me into the full thing. And if I wanted to quick edit a number of records, then what I want to do is click quick edit, and then all of those columns and rows open up to me, and I can change the information contained within them like this. When I'm done, I click done. So thinking about the flow of this, at some point the requisition is complete. How do we know about that? So let's go back to here. We'll do a new one and talk through a little bit of the process. So DRO log supply will complete all of their fields, and what they're essentially doing is taking information from a requisition form. The procurement team is alerted once a new requisition is into the system. We all have visibility to see when new requisitions are in the system. But when DRO log supply essentially has approved a requisition, at that point, procurement can move on it. Procurement is going to go into the trip log, and with a requisition, assign a requisition to one or multiple trips. Think of a trip as a truck. Every truck that we move will have its own trip record, trip ID, trip log in the system. So there's a little bit of duplicate data entry here. But what you're basically doing is taking the requisition information, the way you know the requisition ID. You can see this right here, the requisition ID. That is the number you use when going into the trip log as procurement, and procurement are the ones who basically move things from requisition to trip log. So in a new item, what requisition would do is they'd re-enter the DRO number, and again, for this trailer, remember, each trailer is a trip. They're going to put the requisitions on board. So if I'm creating a new trip, meaning I'm moving a trailer, and I'm going to put requisitions 13 and 14 on it, then what I would do is, following the instructions here, I do 13 and 14. And then again, for products and trailer, this is, again, there could be a bunch of different fields here that I care about, but what I could actually do is if I need to go and do a quick edit, what I can do just to do a very easy copy and paste over to show you here is I just copy this. So let's say if I wanted to put all of these different things in here, what I would do is I would do this, but maybe I'm only putting these records, or excuse me, these products from the second requisition in here. So I copy and I could save that right there. Each product gets a new line, again, following the instructions. So procurement is basically doing that move from a requisition into the trip. And then what they would do, again, they select the trailer type. They're going all the way down, procurement, 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 and here we get to the broker. So once the trip is tendered, broker actually begins to do work in this same record. Broker has their own view. The broker fills in who's going to be carrying, is a driver assigned, when do we estimate they'll pick up the load, do we have any notes about them getting to the shipping origin, where's that driver coming from. Broker ends information here with the driver, with the trailer number. The broker or the DFSC may complete this field on the trailer number. And then here you have the DFSC completes only a couple fields. Trailer into warehouse, the seal number, the trailer out of the warehouse. And the broker will go back in to complete the driver ETA to drop off, since the driver is the one who knows that information. And there could be some notes in or out to the drop off. Maybe the driver was delayed, or there was a breakdown, or snow covered a pass. And then you get to the last couple fields, the DRO warehouse themselves. These are the only fields the DRO warehouse has for completion. Is the trailer delivered? When was the delivery date and time? Is the trailer received? And is the trailer received date and time? So there's a number of things here. You may also see in the trailer delivered, the broker actually could complete this field if the DRO warehouse is not on hand, and if it was dropped off at night. And then you have the name and number of person who actually received the trailer. And so that's what you have with the trip. And again, each group has their own fields and records, and each group also has their own view. It is possible for a team to fill out somebody else's field, and we urge through training and through familiarization that not happen, but we cannot prevent it. And again, we have covered as part of this training, what we've done is, I'm going to cover this. What we've done is we've walked through our requisitions and our requisition process. We've also walked through our trip log and how trips are managed, and then the views, how you understand, how you view the data and information that you care about. And again, each column the columns may be ordered differently, and you may have many more or many fewer fields. So what we will not cover as part of this training are the alerts that may be sent to different teams. The alerts will be changing over time, so we will not cover them in this training. What we wanted to do is, rather than explain every single field and exactly what should be in it, talk you through how you should understand the system, what fields you should be paying attention to or ignoring, and then how you should use and manipulate and manage this system. We hope this training has proved informative, and we look forward to seeing you out on a relief operation soon. Thank you.